Dear friends and my dear students, I am Dr. P.K. Verma. You all are most welcome in P.K. Verma biology classes. In continuation with our discussions in cell biology, today I shall discuss about a special type of chromosomes. A normal chromosome has only one chromatid in the G1 phase and each chromatid has a single DNA molecule. But in S phase, the chromosomes are duplicated by way of replication of DNA, and therefore from G2 phase onward up to the late metaphase stage, each chromosome is made of two chromatids. In anaphase, these two chromatids separate and move towards two poles. So, from anaphase to G1, again the chromosomes are made of a single chromatid and a single DNA. When the chromosomes were discovered, every cytologist tried to study chromosome in different species, and therefore they observed a number of large chromosomes or the giant size chromosomes that in this particular session we shall discuss. In addition to the normal chromosomes present in eukaryotes, there are some special types of chromosomes reported in some organisms. These are the polytene chromosomes and the lamp brush chromosome. In addition, there are some minute chromosomes generally ignored by most cytologists. These are known as B chromosomes or the supernumerary chromosomes. So at first we should study the polytene chromosome. These chromosomes are found in the salivary glands of dipteran insects, the Drosophila, Chironomus, Rhynchoceara, and many others. Hence, commonly these are called salivary gland chromosomes, SGC. Edward Girard Balbiani in 1881 at first reported such chromosome. They are present in arthropods of class Collembola, Celiophora, mammalian trophoblast, and the antipodal and suspensor cells in plant also. So these are not found only in the salivary gland of Diptera. In a normal cell cycle, the chromosomes form two chromatids at the late metaphase. They remain attached together at centromere, and the spindle fibers become attached to their centromeres. When the centromeric DNA divide, that is replicate, the spindle fibers pull the chromatids apart towards the opposite poles in anaphase. So the chromatids divide equally in the outer cells and act as the outer chromosome. The process is called disjunction. In the salivary gland cells, the cell cycle proceeds normally, but the chromatids or daughter chromosomes do not separate. They remain together, but the size of cell increases. So the cell cycles goes on without cell division and without enough separation of the daughter chromosomes, that is chromatids. Therefore, after subsequent cycles, number of chromatids become double and the bundle of chromatids is formed. The number of chromatids becomes 2 to the power n, where n is the number of cell cycle. Due to such divisions in the chromosome, replication of DNA, duplication of chromatids, but there is no enough separation, increases the number of chromatids as much as 1000, that is 10 cycles. 2 to the power 10 is equal to 1024. So as many as 1000 chromonym fibers or the chromonymata may be present in a bundle. Therefore, it is called polytene chromosome, having many threads, having many chromonym fibers. Their length may increase to 0.5 mm and the thickness 20 micrometer, and therefore these are easily observed in cells of salivary glands and Malpighian tubules of insects. Due to the length and structure, these are called giant chromosomes or the polytene chromosomes. In Drosophila, the centromeres of all the chromosomes combine together to form one common large chromocenter, but in Chironomas they remain separate, their centromeres do not fuse. The polytene chromosome contains prominent dark bands and interbands in a definite pattern for every chromosome and its segment. That is, the heterochromatin and euchromatic regions are very prominent in this case. The dark bands contain more DNA and less RNA. It is also tightly packed with histone and other proteins. The interbands contain more RNA and less DNA. The amount of DNA in interband ranges from 0.8 to 25%. These are the functional part of the chromosomes. Due to this very specific bending pattern, cytological map of each arm can be made just by seeing visually the bands under microscope, even no need of photography is there, and different regions of each arm can be identified. These bending patterns were originally used to help mapping of chromosome, identification of chromosomal mutations or chromosomal aberrations, and in taxonomical identification. By use of such bending pattern, the function of genes in transcription and effect of hormones on the genes and chromosomal aberrations can easily be identified. Now see the structure of polytene chromosome of Drosophila. You can see the 5 arms arising from a common chromocenter. The numbers are given: 2 left and right, 3 left and right, 4, and X chromosome is the first chromosome. This is the picture of chironomus midge larva salivary gland cells were squared to show their polytene chromosomes. You can see that they have centromeres. Here is the centromere, but they don't fuse together. That is, chromocenter is not formed in this case. They remain dispersed like this. This is another photograph of the same, that is the salivary gland chromosome of chironomus midge larva. Now, Balbiani described that in the regions where genes are expressed, a puff is formed, a swelling is formed because the DNA of all chromatids expand, open, and start synthesizing RNA molecule. That is called Balbiani ring. You can see the puff region in this region, again here in this region. Two puffs are prominent in this case, and the structure of puff is like this. It is another very fine photograph of the puff. You can see the thread-like structure appearing in two sides. Here also, these are the DNA spread all around. This is the diagrammatic representation of the Balbiani ring. Now the second type is lamp brush chromosome. They were first described by Walther Fleming in 1882 in oocytes of Urodela amphibia, that is tailed amphibia. Lamp brush chromosomes are a special form of chromosome found in the growing oocytes of most animals except mammals. So it is not unique to Urodela amphibia only. Lamp brush chromosome of amphibians, birds and insects are described best of all. They are highly extended meiotic chromosomes, each consisting of two sister chromatids. Chromosome transform into lamp brush during the diplotin stage of meiosis, that is prophase 1, as the chiasmata also are seen in between the two homologous chromosomes. So in a homologous pair of chromosome, there are two chromosomes. They form chiasmata, but in the Pachytene stage, the two chromatids of each chromosome separate, so a tetrad of chromatid is formed. In diplotin, all the four chromatids can be seen easily. After that, the genes present on all these four chromatids start expressing themselves. Exceptionally, in this stage, active transcription of many genes occur in each chromatid, that is on the four chromatids. The part of DNA where the genes are expressed form axial loops, that is DNA forms loop. So at identical place, four loops can be formed. Therefore, in every pair of chromosome, all the four chromatids form loops. That is, four loops can be seen. On every loop, the DNA of genes open and form lateral loops, that is, four lateral loops are found at every point. On this DNA, a number of pro-RNA, pro-ribosomal RNA, are synthesized regularly. Each lateral loop contains one or several transcription units with polarized RNP matrix coating the DNA axis of the loop. Because thousands of such loops are formed along the length of every chromosome pair, They give appearance of the brush used to clean chimney of lamp. Therefore, these chromosomes are known as lamp brush chromosomes, that is LBS. See, this is the chiasmata formation here and there. And the DNA form loops in both the directions from each of the chromosomes. So a bunch of DNA is formed there. In another photograph, you can see the bunch formation on every chromatid in both the sides. It is again another photograph with very good staining. So what happens? These are the two chromosomes showing chiasmata at places. So the stage is a diplotin stage. On each strand there are two chromatids, so two DNA, and at identical points loops are formed at every place. One of them is shown below. These are the two DNA molecules, and these are the two loops appearing from the opposite sides. On these loops, fine RNA molecules will form like this, like this. On another strand, the synthesis may be in opposite direction like this. So more than 2 or 3 points can be noted where DNA is expressed, where transcription is going on. The lamp brush chromosomes are clearly visible even in the light microscope, where they are seen to be organized into a series of chromosomes with large chromatin lobes extended laterally. Amphibians and avian lamp brush chromosomes can be microsurgically isolated from oocyte. That is, they can be separated with the use of a forceps or a needle, because these are very large. The LBS, lamp brush chromosomes, provide useful model for studying chromosome organization, genome function, and gene expression, since the individual transcription unit can be visualized. Moreover, lamp brush chromosomes are widely used for high-resolution mapping of DNA sequences and construction of detailed cytological map of individual chromosome. That is, where the genes are situated, at what distance these are situated. In these oocytes, large amount of protein and other nutrients are stored before their maturation, and many of the messenger RNA become packed in the protein coat, forming information, which are used in translation at the time of early embryonic development, such as the cleavage and blastulation. So, large amount of RNA is synthesized, packed, and used later on. Now, the third odd type of chromosomes are B chromosomes. These are the additional number of chromosomes and therefore called supernumerary or the accessory chromosomes. These are more common in plants than in animals. By definition, these chromosomes are not essential for the life of a species and are lacking in most of the individuals. B chromosomes are distinct from the additional copies of any chromosome. These are also not distributed equally in daughter cells due to lack of a centromere. Most B chromosomes are heterochromatic, but some contain sizable euchromatic segment, such as the B chromosome of maize. In the latter, it may have a centromere also. Now, this is the photograph of the B chromosome, the metaphase plate of the Siberian roe deer. Here you can see a number of dot-like structures marked by B. These are the extra number of chromosomes other than 2n number of chromosomes. The normal number 2n is definite, but the B are the extra. In this case, 8 B chromosomes have been shown. In some cases, B chromosomes have tendency to accumulate in meiotic cell products, resulting in an increase of B number over generations, thereby acting as selfish genetic elements. However, this effect is counterbalanced by selection against infertility. In other cases, B chromosomes provide some positive adaptive advantages. So they have positive as well as negative effects. In tropical regions in plants, more copies of B chromosomes are seen than in the temperate region, suggesting a definite effect of heat on their formation. There is evidence of deleterious effect of supernumeraries on pollen fertility, and favorable effect or associations with particular habitat are also known in a number of species. So deleterious as well as adaptive fitness, both positive and negative effect have been reported in various species. Due to formation of B chromosomes, the length of chromosome decreases and the chance of crossing over also decreases. That is, these B chromosomes were the part of the main chromosomes, but due to effect of heat or other physical or chemical factors, the heterochromatic regions have been deleted and they have formed the additional number of dark staining budded or B chromosomes. So the length is decreased, and because the length is decreased, the crossing over frequency also decreased. According to I.G. White, 1973, we may regard supernumeraries as a very special category of genetic polymorphism, which, because of manifold types of accumulation mechanisms, does not obey the ordinary Mendelian law of inheritance. So it is all about the chromosome. In the next session, we shall study how the karyotypes is prepared and what is the nature of human karyotype. See you in the next session. Thank you. Thank you very much.